All right, y'all. Welcome back. Let's get into this. I'm going to just say this first and foremost disclaimer. I have never and will never advocate or support any adult hanging with minors. And when I say minors, I think for all of us who know under 18. Okay. And I think that even should be raised. I think at this point it should be like 25. Minors should be under 25 or under 21 at least 21. But anyways, I don't support that. But Michael Jackson, for those who do not know, um, came into the music industry at a very young age. He was the youngest. He didn't really have much of a childhood because he was providing for his family. He was the gold mine in his family. He's providing for his mother, his father, and what? How many Jacksons are there? Like 8 or something of them? I don't know. But um but yeah, let's get into this. I want to show y'all a few things because we owe him an apology. I mean, we have fell into the web of deception. And he's going to say a few things. I'm gonna let Michael Jackson speak first, and then I'm going to show you some other things that I came across that we have missed the signs. And I'm not saying we as just the Black community. I'm talking about everybody. So here we go. So here's Mariah Carey and Tommy Mottola. They were married, I just found out. So news to me. But let me play what Michael Jackson said about Tommy Mottola and Mariah Carey.
Is a devil, and Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Respect!
I'm not supposed to say what I'm gonna say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
Please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. No what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Michael is getting gangster today! Yeah.
Mariah Carey.
I think Michael was at the point where he was just like, I don't even care at this point. I think he actually became independent during this time. But yeah.
After divorcing Tommy, came to me crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Oh! There you go!
And I truly believe we need to do an investigation on Tony Matoya. But I mean, are these people really going to actually get arrested and is justice truly going to be served? No. Jesus Christ is going to usher in his judgment and his justice. But I don't think we should support these people as much as possible. But it's kind of hard because, I mean, they're involved in so much of our daily life and consumption. So it's like a lose-lose. But I mean, we can always resist the devil and he will flee, the Bible says.
We can't allow him to do this to great artistry. We just can't. I just want you to know I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal, Diana. Everybody, Waldo, all the people here, I love you all. You've been amazing.
Thank you!
I love you.
All right, so that's what he had to say about Tony. Shout out to Jay Diggs for providing this expose on Tony. So listen to this portion that he did about Michael Jackson.
All right, let's start with the king of pop himself. Now, everybody knows Michael Jackson, but what y'all might not know is how Sony basically sabotaged the greatest entertainer of all time. You see, MJ and Sony had a beautiful relationship at first. Michael released his hits under Epic Records, which was bought by Sony in 1988. I mean, we're talking some of the greatest and highest selling records of all time. Sony was
Billie
eating good
Jean.
off mic. But then something changed, and that something was called Sony ATV Music Publishing. So let me break it down. So in
Break it
1985,
down.
MJ bought the Beatles catalog for $47 million, which gave him ownership of the publishing company called ATV Music. It was a smart business move. And then in 1995, he merged it with Sony's publishing to create Sony ATV. This allowed Mike to own half of one of the most valuable music catalogs in the world. He didn't just have ownership in
His death is starting to make sense, right? Mm-hmm.
the Beatles songs. He had a piece of multiple major artists' music.
People don't really understand is that people say, yo, Michael owned the Beatles catalog. No, Michael owned Sony ATV, half of it.
I heard.
So when Tommy was trying to sign me when I was 18, Michael was trying to sign me because he owned half of Sony ATV.
Sorry for the commercial.
That's when Sony switched up. The main issue started in the early 2000s. By 2001, Mike dropped Invincible, but he was waiting for his contract with Sony to expire so he could manage everything himself. He wanted out and he tried to work things out with the president of Sony, Tommy Mottola. But in retaliation, the label started pulling back on pushing the album.
So I'm leaving Sony.
And this is why people say you sold your soul to the devil.
A free agent. I own half of Sony's publishing and I'm leaving them. They're very angry at me because of it. I just did good business, you know? The way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But good art never dies. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Now this is Michael Jackson we're talking about, the man who made Thriller, and Sony barely pushed the album. Michael also realized that the lawyer he was working with was also working with Sony, and the label was pressuring him to buy parts of his royalties. But Mike knew what was up. They wanted his catalog. They wanted him to default on the loan so they could swoop in and take half of Sony ATV. So what did Mike do? Oh, he was ready to blow shit up. In 2002, he pulled up to Al Sharpton's headquarters in Harlem and let it all out. He called Tommy Mottola, the head of Sony, a racist and a devil in public in front of everybody, multiple times. But he didn't stop there. This man got on a double-decker bus with a bunch of fans and circled Sony's headquarters. He held up a poster with Mottola's face with devil horns.
And this is what I'm talking about. We can fight against, we can resist, we can, call things as it is, even if they try to off us, right? I have to say things in a certain way with YouTube, even though I don't even get paid on YouTube. But anyways, we have to make sure that they don't kill us, right? So it's just like, I keep saying this, we cannot be ignorant of Satan's devices. We learn from the past so we can help the present and the future. So I just hope people, the masses is probably just going to continue to do what the masses do. They don't really care. They're too buried in trying to take care of their bills, and I understand that. But for those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to receive, we need to let people know, hey, this is what's going on, even if they're not taking time to research for themselves.
On it. You see, Sony spent $30 million making Invincible, but only $25 million promoting it. And just for comparison, they spent about $50 million promoting Celine Dion's album that same year. No hate to Celine Dion, but she ain't Michael Jackson. The result? Invincible only sold 6 million copies. And for Michael Jackson, that's a flop.
It would have been so much bigger back then if him and Tommy weren't beefing. So if Michael would have had his fair shake, because, they went on not to promote. Like, Michael had a vision. Like, I was part of it. I remember him saying, we're going to come out with this first, and we're going to shoot a short film, The Threat, and we're going to shoot a short film. Yeah, with Unbreakable, and I'm going to have Biggie, because I had the Biggie verse, and I'm going to have Biggie in the video.
Now, this goes way deeper than, just him owning half of the record label, right? We know there's demonic powers behind these industries. So I came across this video from Trevor Moore. Well, it wasn't from him, but he's doing this skit. He's a comedian, he's an actor. He actually passed away in 21 they say he got a fatal hit to the head. But listen to what he did I don't know when this was, but this was at least from when it was posted on YouTube from whoever took this screenshot or a recording was 12 years ago. But listen to what he says.
I may be a little kid, but I have been around. Can hear the girls all scream soon as our wheels touch down. Junk kits in Tokyo, fashion shoots in Milan, then a private jet to Madison Square Garden. 36-week-long tours, 10 singles on the charts. So hear my message, girl, 'cause it comes from the heart. Help me, my parents sold me to a big producer in the record industry. He makes me do things that I don't want to do. Please call child services.
He makes me do things I don't want to do. Please call child services.
Or maybe SVU. You gotta help me. My parents sold me.
Didn't I tell you they were selling their kids? I told you, it's the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, the Bible tells us. You cannot have two masters. Either you love God, Yahweh, or you love mammon, money.
To a big producer in the music industry. They took the cash and left me to these screaming masses. If I'd known all this, I'd skip those dancing classes. I tried to run away one time in Belarus. They beat me with phone books so that I wouldn't bruise.
They even know how to beat kids so they don't bruise. He was beaten with phone books. If you think this is all a joke and a lie, but they can spin it and deceive because people aren't paying attention. Oh, it's just comedy. It's just a skit. No, Drew Skitty Body. Drewski's skit was funny, but it was a lot of truth behind that. So let us not be so naive and gullible to fall for Satan's devices.
Just can't take no more rich kids bar mitzvahs or paid sleepovers with Saudi princes. Blinked SOS in Morse code. Once at the VMAs, they sprayed me with a hose in a pit for 3 days. And when my sales drop off, they'll take me to a resort and let rich
See, when his sales drop, they're going to take him to a resort for rich men to hunt him for sport. He's about to say.
businessmen hunt me down for sport.
Hold up, I'm just coming in on the song to check on what y'all talking about.
And this is what happens. I'm about to show y'all something because there was a pastor, I think his name was T.D. McNutt, who did the same thing. The same thing this actor is doing.
Don't think of me as a record exec, but a father figure and pal. This kid's a real prankster. This is one of his practical jokes. Thank you for your concern, but there's nothing to see here, folks. That's just exhaustion talking. Poor little guy's tuckered out. I'll take him back to the tour bus and we'll get him straightened out. There is no box. I don't even know what that means. Now we gotta run, but for your trouble, here's some front row seats.
Gotta help me. My parents sold me.
Could I get a little help here?
Producer.
We've got a coat on.
Industry.
We're
Oh,
sorry,
God,
he's
please
very
help
tired.
me.
Life on the
Take some
road.
action. This
He
didn't
can
work
quit whatever he
out
wants.
for Michael
Thank you,
Jackson.
thank you.
Someone
No
help
pictures,
me.
please, ma'am.
Don't
Ma'am, no
ignore what
pictures.
I said. They'll sacrifice me.
He'd like to thank all of you for your support. The new album drops on the 22nd.
Did you miss it? Let me rewind it back. Let me rewind it back because he said something.
Very tired. Life on the road.
This
He
didn't
can
work
quit whatever he
out
wants.
for Michael
Thank you,
Jackson.
thank you.
Hear it? This didn't even work out for Michael Jackson. Let me rewind it back again so y'all can hear it.
Thank you. Quit whatever he wants.
For Michael Jackson.
Thank you.
Someone help
On
me.
the
Some
road.
action. This
He
didn't
can quit
work
whatever
out
he wants.
for Michael
Thank
Jackson.
you.
Someone
No
help
pictures,
me.
please, ma'am.
Don't
Ma'am, no
ignore what
pictures.
I said. They'll set
All right, y'all. So this is Aaron Carter's last interview before his death. Listen to what he had to say.
The one boy.
Now listen to this. I have to tell you this.
Okay.
So after I left the party, and the next day I smoked with Michael, and then I get in the limousine and I leave. I get back to the Sheraton Hotel at Universal, over here. There's 4 FBI agents waiting for me in the hotel room, and my mom's there. And she's like, "Tell them what happened." And I'm like, "What do you mean, tell them what happened?" And I sit down with them, and they all ask these super sexually exploited, questions, back-sided questions. And I knew that at my age already. And I looked at all 4 of them, and I said, "Are y'all crazy?" I said, "What you think I'm gonna do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money?"
Pot. Bingo. Bingo. We owe him an apology. Craziness, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I thought I pressed play.
My age already. And I looked at all 4 of them, and I said, "Are y'all crazy?" I said, "What you think I'm gonna do? Tell you that Michael did something bad so that we can sue him for money?" That's what I told him. I was like, "You're crazy." And I looked over at my mom, and I was like, "Are you serious, Mom?" I was like, "What is going on here? Why are you letting this happen?" And she goes, well, "I think something happened, I think something." I'm like, "Really? That man."
She thinks something happened. So if you have suspicion as a parent, if you say, "Hey, is someone doing something to you?" And, sometimes us as parents, we get a little paranoid, right? I've been there. Like, ask your kids, someone touching you or someone doing something to you, especially if they're at this age where they can comprehend. You know what I mean? So it's just like, he told his parent, no, he's never doing anything. No, absolutely not. But she still continued to press him.
And did nothing but be hospitable, kind, loving, giving, everything you could think of. We rode 4-wheelers for 5 hours, me, him, and Chris Tucker, in the mountains at nighttime after his birthday party.
Now, Chris Tucker is in the files. I did take a look. He is mentioned in the files. I haven't done a deep dive into that. Not saying that he's a part of the pedophilia operation, but he is in the files.
Him and I hung out and talked pretty much.
So there's that. I told you I was going to bring up the pastor that's going viral about him doing weird stuff to his kid. So listen to this, y'all. Listen. Why would they do that? Did y'all see where his hand was? Look. He points it out with the arrows too. But I just want to look. Why was his hand in between his legs like that? Disgusting. Why is she giving him a wet? He's 15 years old. It's cute to do like little things like that with your kids, like a toddler, maybe. You know what I mean? But 15? 15? Disgusting.
Happy birthday! Hey, happy birthday to you! Hey! So you got you to 15? 15 now! Yes, you is! Hey, now! Hey! Go to bed, boy. What you doing? Yes, right.
How he gonna go to bed when y'all messing with him? And why he got pink sheets?
Hey, go to sleep. You peed? You peed on yourself?
Now that's one of the signs. He's 15 years old peeing on himself. That's one of the signs of molestation. Look it up, y'all.
Apostle Tavarius McNutt was
He ain't no goddamn apostle, and this is the reason why I don't believe in modern day apostles. Y'all disgusting. Not all of them, but most of them. Disgusting. Physically and spiritually. But anyways.
arrested December 23rd, 2025 on charges of molestation and sexual abuse of a 15-year-old little boy y'all just saw in that video. And the crazy part is, that video was posted on social media almost 2 years ago. And the little boy ain't come forward until just
So he's 17 now. Wow.
recently. Now, because of this charge, Mr. Apostle McNutt has not been allowed to be around this child since December 3rd due to court orders. Until just recently,
Praise God.
where they went live as a unit for an hour,
Excuse me, he's not 17. He was 13. Hold up, I'm confused. Whatever.
12 minutes and 8 seconds, and I watched every single second of it because I knew everybody was not going to watch this whole thing. I mean, the microaggressions in this video was sickening. I said, everyone who's not watching these full lives, we get the narrative that this is the child, this is his mother, and this is his father. But then when you start watching all the stuff, you finally realize that's not even his father. In fact, that's not even his girlfriend. They are cousins.
Who? Oh my. Oh, wow. Wow.
They live in separate homes. This man in the red is this guy's in a green cousin, but he calls him dad. Why? Because he told him to call him dad because he'd been in his life since he was 4 years old. Super red flag. Why is he calling you dad? And he has a biological dad that's alive. You're not even a stepdad. That's if you was married to his mother. You're not. You're his
And that's his, and they kissing cousins much? Disgust. Oh my gosh.
cousin that's in his life. You're sick. And this is how it happens. People try to get a role in your life, a family role to prey on you.
Yep.
Now, the purpose of this live was because Mr. McNutt wanted this little boy to apologize to the world and hold him accountable for telling the police on him and saying he was lying. Now, the live started off super weird as it is. This grown man who was his cousin dad just out of nowhere said, we know he handsome. He handsome. Who gives a F? What are you talking about? You're accused of molesting this man. Why are you calling him handsome? On December 3rd, the little boy had enough. The principal at school told him, you got to go to your father's house. And the little boy responded, I'm not going there. He'd be molesting me and sexually assaulting me. Police was called. They went to his house and boom, the father got arrested. And to avoid accountability, this grown man just took this little boy on live to complete humiliating, put all his business out there, just told the whole world, hey, this little boy think he can get away with anything. He is a liar. He thinks he can go to school and grab people private parts. We don't tolerate that in this.
And I was able to listen to some of the clips, but I just wanted to add that on there because when you see a real predator versus a fake one, and you accuse the real predator of being innocent, or excuse me, you accuse the person who's not the predator, like Michael Jackson, who was accused of being a predator, molesting kids, we owe him an apology, even though he's dead. And I don't subscribe to necromancy or talking to the dead, but you know, this is something we have to own because we missed all the signs and we fell into the propaganda that the media has given us for decades. All right, y'all. Until next time, shalom.